Recording.
Hey everybody, here we are, the Soul Spa with Bev Wood. My name's Paul Bucky. Hi Bev,
Hi, Paul. Hi,
and
everyone.
I get to be the stooge for the Soul Spa, and today we're talking about full moon things. So I have read and I've looked into numerous posts that have come my way, and it talks about the full moon festivals and celebrations. So let us know, what's the significance of these celebrations or festivals? And what full
Yeah,
moon are we dealing with here?
that's a good question, Paul.
Hey,
What is
thanks.
the significance of the full moon? Well, first of all, we are in the Cancer full moon. And let's just set a little bit of foundation because we are supposed to be participating every month in these festivals. And we'll go into that why of that in a little bit, but let's set the foundation of what happens between the sun and the moon in the full moon festival. So first of all, at the exact time of the full moon, an aspect takes place called an opposition. This is when we see the full light on this side of the moon because the sun and the moon are in exact open alignment. So at that time, there's four phases, as we know, of the moon. This is the one where it's totally accessible, the full light of the moon. So let's look at the significance of what is happening. First of all, we call it the Cancer full moon, although we know that the moon itself is in its opposite sign of Capricorn. So why do we call it a Cancer full moon when it's the sun that's in Cancer and the moon in Capricorn? First of all, the sun itself symbolizes divine consciousness. The moon symbolizes the mass consciousness of humanity. It naturally rules Cancer, so kind of makes sense, and I'll get into that in a little bit. So in the Ageless Wisdom, we are told that the moon has no light or life of its own. It is literally dead and void, and it will ultimately become etheric, which means that we are not going to be able to see it with the naked eye. It has been dead and void for millions of years. And it has a significant, profound DNA for humanity, which is very esoteric and very ancient. But just suffice it to say, the moon, this is why the moon has such an effect on humanity during the full moons. It will ultimately not, because we will evolve enough to handle those kinds of energies. But for right now, the only light that the moon receives is from the sun, the solar light and life that we all live and move within. So what is significant is that it is at these times that humanity is the little wills of men have an opportunity to be brought into an alignment of the divine mind of God. That's what this is all about. So we need to enter into every month individually, but mostly as a group, where we can give over our little need to control and really tune in to what is being asked of us. Because I will say again, we are more powerful and more significant to this planetary life than we have ever forgotten even. We're trying to remember with a deeper awareness what our part is here. Remember the question last time, what are we here to do? What is our purpose? Who are we? These full moons give us an opportunity once a month to really work and to become part of that. So when I say polarity, remember we live in a world of duality where we have two forces working. And I said before, our work is to find the midway point between these two polarities. Polarity is a relationship, and astrology is the psychology of relationship. So we have these two polar opposite or complementary, actually, these two complementary signs. And I say that because they are the two sides of one coin. In the physical world, that is just the fundamental law. There's two sides to a coin, and our job is to find and work in that midway point. So both of these signs are two arms of the cardinal cross, as I said at the Cancer solstice. They are initiatory in their activity. Of course, Cancer initiates the summer solstice, Capricorn initiates the winter solstice, but even deeper than that, every single sign, all 12 signs, have within them the light. It works with the light. That's the theme that runs through all 12 of these energies. Cancer, which is a water emotional sign, is the light within the form. It's the womb. And matter of fact, the moon is the natural ruler of Cancer and the mother. So as I said earlier, there is a deep ancient history between the life of the moon and humanity itself. And we still resonate in that DNA, that mass consciousness of Cancer. It is the nurturing energy. It's called the gate in because the soul takes birth, initiates a physical life through Cancer, the womb of the physical mother. It is the need to feel secure and protected. And it is also where we learn how to nurture as well. So in Cancer, we find that we become aware of our personal environment, our home life, those that come into our family sphere of influence. So let's take a look at the complementary or polarity of Cancer called Capricorn, another initiatory energy, very earthy and practical. Water and earth are complementary as fire and air are complementary. This is how it is set up in astrology. There are 6 basic signs and then their polarities. So Capricorn is called the light of initiation. It is the gate out. Cancer, I said, was the gate in. Capricorn is the gate out. This is where we finally attain our mastery over the physical body. So for many lifetimes, we are working. We are birthed, we are experiencing, and then finally, at one particular point in evolution, the soul becomes the initiate and masters over the physical body. And what's significant is Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is the ruler of the physical world, the limitation of the physical world. One of his names is the Lord of Karma. He is the disciplinarian, the teacher, the lesson giver. And he is actually concerned with the whole of humanity in terms of our responsibility to each other and to the greater plan of this earth logos. Capricorn is the awareness of the world environment, as Cancer is the personal, Capricorn, the polar opposite, is the world environment, and how each of us is here as a soul to help bring into potential the plan of this great being in whom we serve. We have forgotten that. We are here to serve his purpose. So Cancer and Capricorn at this time, the divine will that is holding Cancer, this nurturing essence, let's look at it. This is initiatory times for not just humanity, but for the planetary scheme as well. So at this time, let's take advantage as a group called humanity, the fourth kingdom in nature, to take up the gauntlet of our responsibility. We are here to nurture ourselves and each other and all the life below us, the fourth kingdom, the three lower kingdoms it is referred to. The planetary life, that is who we are. That is what we have signed up to do. And these full moons give us the opportunity to remember, if we can truly bring our little will under the control of the greater will of the divine consciousness. This is the significance of the full moons. So let's let the light of divine consciousness guide our intentions here. What is our intentions as we live in this world of duality? We are literally here to help lift this great life into his spiritual potential. I wish you all happy, happy Cancer full moon blessings.
Okay. Thanks for the blessing. Now I got a question. How do you
Okay.
do this?
Yes.
You say, to find the midpoint, conscious intentions. I mean, those are all nice abstract concepts. Uh, so is there a quote unquote doing of this in our personal lives? And also part of that question is the work during the full moon more significant than in between full moons?
First of all, the first part of your question, we must, every single one of it always begins with the individual. Okay, esoteric astrology eventually starts looking at us as a group soul, but individually, we all have to bring ourselves into the rhythm of something greater than our little personal lives, bringing ourselves into the rhythm of the soul. The soul is what we work through to get in touch with what the divine plan is. And yes, at the exact time of the full moon is the very potent, profound opportunity to do just this, to be present. You and I talk about that all the time, to be present in the moment, at that exact moment of the full moon. Can you imagine if all of humanity is resonating in that moment and paying attention and giving the divine will its control over our little mass consciousness that only really sees the physical world. We are so much more than that. So as we evolve more consciously, there's going to be more and more of humanity tuning into these festivals. This is the plan. Okay, the plan is as a group, not individually. Yes, we have to begin that way, but to answer your question, absolutely. At that exact moment of that fullness, wow, what a amazing point of tension. And we are put right in the center of that duality, of those two powerful energies of light. Light is actually the manifestation of love in the physical world. It is consciousness. This is the theme for all of astrology, to take the light in these 12 different differentiations and bring it into a profound alignment as a group. This is the work that we are being asked to do as we move forward in our conscious evolution.
And just one other question. So we each have our own particular chart, our own particular work. And does that give us a little more information on how to use these full moon phases?
So let's look at it this way. Each one of us is a thread, a beautiful, radiant thread from one group soul. That's the essence of our beingness at this point as personality lives. When we can look at our own spiritual contributions to that group, this is key in how we can, I think this is significant as we go forward for us to have just a rudimentary understanding of these 12 lights. Like really just have a basic knowledge of those energies that are interplaying. Remember, it is, I don't know if you remember or not if I said this, but according to the ageless wisdom, the zodiac itself is an illusion. What is significant is they're just a dim reflection of the true essence of these 12 lights. The constellations, I think I mentioned that last time. The 12 constellations are the originating source of the light. And by the way, these constellations are made up of a group of entities. There's not a single star in each of them. There are myriads of stars, some of them more highlighted, more advanced, more evolved, and those are the ones that we can see. These are groups of entities, and we have an opportunity to tune into that during these full moons. A little daunting maybe, but as we evolve consciously, this is what will start playing out. That's the basis of esoteric astrology instead of the personality-based astrology. This is soul-centered astrology.
All right. I look forward to being guided more and more into these little festivals. And I hope all of
Yes.
you out there are too. We'll do these every month on a full moon. And then in between, we do the ageless wisdom. So we want to thank Bev for imparting her wisdom to us. And we look forward to more of that. Thanks, Bev.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.